Hello and welcome. This is going to be a karmic lesson reading. What lessons keep repeating itself? What karma are you dealing with? Something you need to know about these karmic lessons so that you can shift past them, move through them, and progress. Sometimes we feel like we're stuck because there are lessons that we are working through, and when we see what the lesson is, then we can often progress, and we tend to want to push through it, and you just hit up against walls and blocks, and it becomes frustrating if you can't see what the lesson is. So we have the Nine of Swords that just popped up, and this is like having sleepless nights, being worried and stressed and anxious about something. And this can tend to happen, if you can't sleep at night or you're waking up often. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're worried and stressed about something, or that there's something that needs to come to our awareness. And our lives can get so busy, or we just choose to distract ourselves from. You might be having some type of emotion that doesn't feel so good, but we don't acknowledge it. And so we tend to, our higher selves or some part of us inside will wake us up in the middle of the night, or in that quiet moment when you're not busy or distracted. Whatever needs to come to your awareness will try to come through. So if you're waking up at night or can't sleep at night, just get up. Get up, put your feet on the floor, and just sit in the stillness, in the silence. Speak to your higher self or your angels. Ask them to give you clarity. And that's what this reading is about. So I'm going to take this back into the deck because I want to ask some specific questions. Okay, what lesson keeps repeating for you? Okay, the High Priestess jumped out. What lesson keeps repeating for you? So this is saying to me that we shouldn't see the lessons as punishment. Karma is not punishment. Karma can be, it's cause and effect, basically. We don't have to attach a positive, see there's a black and a white pillar over here. It's just opposites, polar opposites, and we don't have to attach a negative or a positive connotation to karma or anything really. It just is what it is. So whatever it is, once you see it, then you have choice. And then we don't keep recycling the same thing over and over again. In this life, in this existence, we are programmed, and then we live out patterns in the 3D world. In a triangle, we live out a pattern, and we keep going back and forth with this pattern. But we are beings of creation. So we want to experience many different things, but especially experience things that are going to cause expansion and growth. And going through the same thing again and again does not. It can help with growth and expansion, but we want to be able to grow and expand and ascend and create through joy and love and creativity. So if we break the pattern, which is not necessarily a bad thing, you get to experience a different reality. We don't have to experience a reality that we feel was chosen for us. We can choose. So you kind of have to know that you are the High Priestess, and that you are connected, and you have all this wisdom Not just your own, but you have access to the universal wisdom. And I feel like the lesson that we need to learn here is that you are the high priestess. And especially that whatever lessons have been repeating itself has been teaching you to trust your intuition, trust your connection, your own connection to source and the universe. We often want to learn from others, from listening to podcasts and watching videos and taking courses and receiving counseling and teaching from others, when you are your own guru. You are just as gifted spiritually and in every other way as every other person. And sometimes we need to acknowledge that. So the more times you have an experience and you trust your gut, you trust your higher guidance, you trust that niggling feeling, and you see that, okay, when I trust this, it yields the result that I want. And if I've been trusting what everyone else has been telling me and showing me, and then the result that it yielded was not necessarily what I want. Maybe it might have been at some point, but as we grow and expand, what we want and what we need changes. It doesn't stay the same. And this is why it's important to trust our own intuition, because what is good for someone else isn't necessarily what's good for you anymore, because we are growing and expanding. It changes so often that there isn't a recipe or rules to follow anymore. It really has to be in the moment what is right for me. And when you trust your higher guidance, what is right for you will be right for everyone else, even if they can't see it, even if you can't see it or understand it from your perspective. Your higher self can see all perspectives. And when you trust that guidance, it takes you where you need to be and where you want to be. Okay, why? I wanted to ask why are you repeating this lesson, but I think it already came through. What do we need to face about this lesson? What is it that you need to face? The Two of Swords, indecision. It's possible that if we don't know for certain this is the way to go, that you might not want to make a decision, that you pretend, okay, I'll just not do anything. I don't know what the right option is, so I'm not going to make a choice, and I'm just going to close my eyes to this thing and sit here and hope that it fixes itself. And the problem with just not having an intention and not making a choice is that you don't move, you just stay there. And you kind of have to cross that emotional waters of why am I feeling disempowered, like I don't have a choice? Why do I feel afraid that if I choose one option, it's not going to take me where I want to go? And the beauty about karma is that even if you choose one and it turns out that that isn't the choice that you wanted, you will have a chance to redo and choose something else. And inevitably, you have to find the courage to just choose one and tap into that higher awareness. So every time you get a chance to choose between things, even though you don't see where either one of those options are going to take you, this is practice in becoming one with your higher self and one with the universe, and developing that skill so that you can make choices without seeing the outcome and know where you are going to land. And you should give yourself that positive reinforcement. So if it turns out differently to what you wanted, it's a way to hone that skill. Okay, we did this before, Let's try something else. But really, it's about tapping into that high priestess energy, tapping into yourself, blocking out the noise, everybody else's opinions, and even your own ego's fear about going in blind, and really just moving by spirit, moving by the energy that moves you. Because we've lived from the mind and from the ego for so long, it does take practice to override that automatic program and then tap into the high priestess energy. Let's get some more. I'm just going to ask for guidance because the answers to the questions that I intended have already come through. How do we do this? The Emperor. So how do we face this? How do we connect more with our intuition? By knowing your power. The Emperor is an authority. He is a ruler. He doesn't get swayed by what everyone else says. Everyone else listens to him. He is the ruler of his empire. And we really have to take our power back and realize and know that you have the power to create the reality that you want and to rule over your universe. You are your universe. Somebody else can't be sitting on the throne in your universe and directing what needs to happen and how it needs to happen. That's for you. Let's see what else. Let's start. And this is how wishes come true. This is how we live a fulfilled life. You absolutely have the power to make all your dreams come true. And the Six of Cups. What I'm getting is this is about getting back to that childlike energy, that enthusiasm, that optimism, that openness to receive, that openness to give, but in a balanced way. Not over giving, not being completely selfish and egotistical. It's about unconditionally loving yourself so that you can unconditionally love others. And this is ultimately what all the karma is about. It's about finding that balance, finding how to love yourself truly and how to love others truly. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil. And this is literally being chained to the karmic cycles. If it is love, love is free. Love is freedom. Love is, it doesn't keep you bound. It allows you to be yourself. And if the experience you're having is making you feel like you're stuck, a prisoner, like you have to pretend, like that you're not happy, then it is not for you. I think we all have a preconceived notion of what is right and wrong and what is sin and what is good for us by what we have consciously or subconsciously taken in from the world. And because we've been made to believe that a specific thing is good and a specific thing is bad, we trust that and we say, okay, I should be experiencing this because everybody says this is what should be. And if you're feeling like you're in hell, like this is not fun, then change it. And again, it takes some practice to override that belief that we've been conditioned to, that this is how it should be. what should be is unconditional love and nothing else. Yeah, I'm going to end the reading there. If you enjoyed this reading, please let me know. I really do appreciate the feedback. I feel like there's many questions that could be asked about karmic lessons. So if you have any questions for another reading like this, please let me know in the comments as well. If you like the video, click that like button. It helps me to just pick up on what type of readings to do. Yeah, and I'll see you in another video.